I show you State Exhibit G. Do you recognize this shell casing?
Yes, it has my mark on it, and it was found in the room where Alana Westbrook was killed.
Now, is this casing similar to the ones used by the defendant for target shooting?
Yes, it was compared to other bullets found in the defendant's house. That's an exact match.
Were any fingerprints found on this casing?
Yes, the defendant's.
Lieutenant, do you have an inventory of what was taken from Mrs. Westbrook's bedroom safe?
Yes, we do. Several items of jewelry and an envelope containing a chemical formula for a cosmetic cream. But we found the jewelry in a mailbox down the street from the house.
You mean the jewelry wasn't really stolen after all?
No, it wasn't.
And did you find the chemical formula too?
No, we didn't.
So the only thing that was stolen from Mrs. Westbrook's safe was the formula for her cosmetics cream?
That is correct.
Now, let's talk about the broken window in the living room. The window was broken, was it not?
Yes, it was.
Lieutenant, when you examined the area around the broken window, what did you observe?
I discovered that there was a lot more broken glass on the windowsill outside than there was on the floor inside.
Indicating what?
Indicating that the window had been broken from the inside out.
Meaning that whoever broke the window was already inside the house?
That is correct, sir.
At the time of the murder, were the servants still in the house?
No, they had already returned to the gatehouse where they lived.
So who was in the house?
Mrs. Westbrook and the defendant, Mr. Westbrook.
Your witness, counsel.
Defense has no questions, Your Honor.
Witness is dismissed.
Your Honor, the people call Eric Corbell.
My God, Perry, why don't you say something?
So far, there's nothing to say.
Oh, but they made me look like I killed her. Can I at least take the stand and speak in defense of myself?
I don't think you should do that, Arthur.
Oh, damn it.
Be quiet.
And what did these arguments between the defendant and Mrs. Westbrook concern? Do you recall?
Sometimes they were because he was jealous of other men, but mostly they were about money.
What about money?
He said that she owed him. He'd given her a fortune, and now he wanted his money back.
And what did Mrs. Westbrook say to that?
She'd just laugh. Tell him he'd get his money over her dead body.
Your witness, counsel.
Defense has no questions.
It's impossible to put a specific dollar value on it, but conservatively speaking, I would say that the ingenue formula could be worth tens of millions of dollars.
Was the defendant aware of the value of the formula, Dr. Shaw?
He was at the board meeting when we first discussed it. I'm certain that he knew.
Thank you. Counselor, your witness.
Your Honor, defense has no questions for the witness at this time.
In that case, Your Honor, the people rest.
Very well. Witness is dismissed. Counsel for the defense, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, defense calls Harley Griswold. We ask the court's indulgence to treat Mr. Griswold as a hostile witness.
The court will grant you a certain leeway, Mr. Mason.
Mr. Griswold, I'd like to direct your attention to the young lady in the second row of the spectator section. Have you ever seen her before?
Yes, she came to my house the day before yesterday.
And at that time, did she offer to sell you an incriminating photograph linking you to the murder of Alana Westbrook?
She most certainly did not. She said she was a reporter from the National Informer, and she wanted to interview me for a story on Cafe Society snobs. I threw her out.
I can put the young lady on the witness stand if necessary.
You can do what you want. It's your trial. I'm telling you the truth.
What kind of car do you drive?
1961 Jaguar Mark II 3.8-liter sedan, British Racing Green.
Quite a car. Almost impossible to mistake.
Like its owner.
Unique. Your vintage car was involved in an attempted vehicular homicide 2 nights ago, was it not?
If you say so, it must be true.
The left front fender of your car was severely damaged, was it not?
Yes, it was.
In fact, that car belonging to you is at Imperial Motors having that fender replaced. Is that not true?
Yes, that's quite right. My Jaguar was stolen from its garage that evening. I found it the next morning, parked around the corner with just the damage you describe.
You're telling us someone stole your car, smashed it up, and then returned it? Why would someone do that, sir?
Well, I suppose someone might be trying to implicate me in some way, to set me up in the language of the streets.
Why didn't you report the theft and the damage to the police or to your insurance company?
Well, every time I try to make a claim, they raise the rates. It's cheaper for me to pay for the repairs myself.
Now, we've heard testimony about the value of the ingenue formula. Isn't it a fair assumption that whoever murdered Mrs. Westbrook and stole that formula would be interested in selling it?
Yes, I suppose so. But if you're going to ask me about that telephone call from Zurich on my answering machine, I promise you I know nothing about it.
You have no plans to travel to Zurich to meet with representatives of a Swiss cosmetics concern?
No, I don't.
And after Alana's murder, why did you fax your travel agent and order a one-way ticket to Zurich?
I didn't.
Mr. Griswold, this is the fax that your travel agent received. It indicates that it came from your home.
I wasn't at home at that time. Somebody must be trying to impersonate me.
The same someone who stole your car.
Yes.
The same someone who faxed a cosmetics company in Zurich and asked for an appointment in order to discuss vital business concerns.
The same someone who's trying to frame me. Yes.
Do you have an alibi for the night of the murder? Or for the night that your car was involved in that accident?
I was at home.
No, you weren't. You left Alana Westbrook's birthday party at 10 o'clock. But according to your houseboy, you didn't arrive home until 2 a.m. Now that's 4 hours. 4! Where were you during those 4 hours, Mr. Griswold?
I'm not on trial here. I don't have to furnish an alibi.
The witness will answer the question.
Your Honor, this is a very, very personal matter.
Didn't you kill Alana, Mr. Griswold? And when Lauren Kent confronted you with proof of your guilt, didn't you try to kill her also?
No.
Then where were you the night Alana was killed?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Harley, tell them. He was with me.
Order. Order. Madam, you will be seated and you will be quiet.
I was with Mrs. Courtney.
Witnesses?
Really, Mr. Mason, there were no witnesses. You see, I'm not quite the impotent eunuch that people like to think. Dear Mr. Courtney has allowed me to spend as much time as I want with his lovely wife under the mistaken impression that all we do is gossip and have lunch. Well, thanks to you, my cover's blown. Pity. Still, it's rather nice to be out of the closet.
Mr. Mason? Mr. Mason?
Your Honor, defense requests a short recess.
Court is in recess for 20 minutes.
All rise.
Lawrence, set us up.
Find her.